Friends, hello. Welcome to HSO's first in a series. We hope it's a series of webinars looking at our AEC 360 IP and strategy moving forward. So my name is Brian Henry. I head up the AEC sector here in the UK. I'm honoured to have a couple of guests with me today on the webinar. First of all, the founder of the AEC business, our AEC business and global leader, Whit McIsaac, is joining us out of Atlanta. And we've also got Natalie Brooks, who is an AEC architect in the UK. Natalie's going to be talking about some of the IP and some of the solutions we have. So honoured to have these two guys alongside me today. Just a quick agenda. So I've given the brief introductions. Whit's going to talk a little bit about HSO and where we come from, and what AEC 360 actually is. I'm going to talk about some of the challenges that he sees and that we see that the AEC firms have in the marketplace. And he's going to talk about what we're calling the AEC firm of the future. So how HSO can help AEC firms digitally transform their businesses. A little bit around where AEC groups are investing, and then we're going to hand over to Natalie, and Natalie's going to show you some of the actual IP and the solutions that we're delivering for AEC firms. I'm then going to close out the event with next action. So I'm going to hand over to you now, Whit.
Perfect, Brian. Thank you very much. And today's session, or this first in a series of sessions, is not about us spending a whole bunch of time on HSO, but I thought it would be helpful for the attendees to understand that we're a significant global organization. As Brian mentioned, we founded the AEC 360 group about 20 years ago. As you'll see here in a few minutes, we've got a massive amount of experience in this space. But we're about 2,500 employees. 100% focused on solutions that are based on the Microsoft platform. So a very close partnership with Microsoft. We have about 80 offices around the globe. So this AEC 360 initiative is something that you're seeing in the UK and France and Germany, the Netherlands, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, so and obviously US. So again, we have the opportunity to see what other AEC companies are doing around the world and incorporate those best practices and any potential solutions that are built with those groups into what we're delivering to potentially you. So with that, let's talk just a few minutes about what we're seeing out in the marketplace. So from an architecture, engineering, construction space, attracting and developing new business, massively complicated right now, especially since the competition has just escalated to the point that it has, and all of the economic pressures that groups are feeling has just fed into that even more. So how do we remain competitive in the marketplace to go about attracting new business? Client expectations are growing. Their demands, the requirements, the customer service, client service are huge. Quality and efficiency, it's gotten more complicated from the way projects are architected, engineered, and constructed. So how do we continue to maintain the quality, and then finding good people in almost every industry right now? How do we attract? How do we keep? How do we incentivize the people that are customer, client, project facing to make sure that we can ensure that that the group continues to enjoy success? So these are some of the things that almost every group out in this industry are forced to have to deal with these days. So from that standpoint, we look to the ways technology can have a significant impact on what these businesses are doing. So how can we increase our agility? How can we become more efficient? How can we become more insightful? Really, really key word there, because now what we have to do, as you'll see in a few minutes, is I need information, I need content, I need data to be able to understand where we're having success and where we're not having success. So the concept of business intelligence as it relates to business development has grown incredibly. So unfortunately, historically, CRM systems, business development systems didn't really give us that level of functionality. So as you'll see, as Natalie jumps in here in just a few minutes, that technology is now available. Firms are embracing it, they're adapting, and they're leveraging that type of content and information to help be more successful. So, so why don't we shift over to the next slide? What we've done, again, through years of experience with a whole bunch of AEC firms and with the industry teams at Microsoft, we've developed a solution that sits on top of Dynamics 365. So we've got workloads or modules for marketing, so finding work, identifying work, and then pursuit management solutions for winning work. We've got resource management and scheduling and operational for delivering the work, finance and operations, general ledger, accounts payable, subcontractor management, all of those things for accounting for the work. And then we've got HR and solutions that are designed to help make sure that we can manage our talent. So it's a complete comprehensive solution, but it doesn't all have to be done at one time. These are all a la carte type solutions. So some firms leverage the winning work piece. Some firms leverage the managing talent. Today, we're going to spend our time talking specifically about finding and winning work. The best of both world scenarios. This is a really interesting slide. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but if we advance to show the items on the right-hand side, this is the way the technology has evolved. So 15 years ago, we had the groups in blue. We had the industry sectors, so the Uninets, the Deltecs, the BSTs. We had groups that were building proprietary solutions, mostly on-premise, for helping firms in the AEC industry manage their businesses. Shifted over, and we saw a bunch of groups like Oracle and Workday and Salesforce, and to a lesser extent, Microsoft get involved with what we call platform plays, which are the orange arrow. So not a lot of industry expertise, no industry solutions, but a great platform that allowed groups to get to the cloud. So what we've done in conjunction, again, with the industry teams from Microsoft is we've created what we call the best of both worlds. So a powerful platform in the Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Azure scenario, combined with the industry functionality that's demanded by these old legacy systems like Deltek and BST. So as you'll see, we've built those extensions and that functionality on top of the Dynamics platform to be able to generate a solution that's based on these open systems. So with that, we'll go to the next slide. Just wanted to drop, here in the US, we call this a NASCAR slide. I guess we could call it an F1 slide as well, right? So here's some logos of the groups that we've been working with around the world. You know, large groups, medium groups, small groups, global groups, regional groups, and in every subcategory of the AEC market, we've had a lot of experience. So from that standpoint, we don't start projects, we don't start engagements with clients to talk about what they can potentially do with this technology. We talk about what their peer firms are doing, how they're leveraging the technology, and how they can be successful. And what I've asked Brian to do is to go through a couple of the projects that the UK team are really active with right now. So Brian, would you mind covering like a Foster and Partners
Absolutely,
and an MTC?
Thank you very much. Yes, so we're really proud of these next two wins. We're not far from going live at Foster's and Partners. Foster's and Partners are one of the leading architectural firms in the UK. They approached us. They were looking for the full depth and breadth of the Dynamics platform, but they wanted an industry filter to go on top of it with an ISV, which is what we've been able to fulfill for them. So that if we go back to Whit's slide, but not physically, around the way that they look for work, the way that they bid on their projects, go, no go, etc., finding the work, being able to work on projects using our Projects 360 IP, through to finance, core finance, and then using our time and billing functionality to accrue for and bill for consultants' time. We've got one connected Dynamics platform with the full depth and breadth of our IP, HSO side AEC 360 IP across it, and they'll be going live in a couple of months' time. We are actually hosting an event at the Shard, which these guys designed in June, which I'll talk about at the end of the webinar. And the second one on here is MTC. MTC is the Manufacturing Technology Centre based up near Coventry. Again, these guys are actually live now. So all of those different ways of all of those different processes which Wick mentioned earlier in terms of looking for work, how they find who's got the best relationship with their client within their organization. So enterprise relationship management, the way that they structure a bid in terms of go, no go, moving on to projects, the way that they're running their projects, going into finance with Microsoft D365 Finance, with our time and billing IP to accrue for and invoice for the consultant's time. So again, one platform, Microsoft, with the full depth and breadth of HSO, AEC 360 IP laying on top of it. So back over to you, Wick.
Perfect. So to extend exactly on what you were saying, this next slide is what we refer to as the pyramid. And what it does is it allows us to visualize how these solutions come together. So the base of the pyramid is Microsoft Dynamics 365 out of the box or vanilla. And then what we've done is we've built this professional services layer that adds a significant amount of functionality on top of Dynamics to allow it to work for a people-based projects business. And then on top of that, we drop in the AEC 360 layer. So these are certified solutions by Microsoft that don't get in the way of the upgrades and the updates and the one version that Microsoft subscribes to for their cloud-based solutions. And then on top of that, what we do is we tailor our solutions for the specific subsector of the AEC marketplace and for the specific firms. And that's currency and language and type of practice and design studios and so forth. So then the next slide is critically important. So one of the common challenges with CRM systems historically has been, how do we get data into the database? So we've developed this synchronization and integration platform that we refer to as Sync 360. The most important thing to think about when we look at this slide is we built these pre-configured connectors on the left-hand side. Those connect to the ERP system, the project management system, the new job intake system, and they extract information from those systems and populate the CRM database. So we've got valuable client and project and employee information that we can base decisions on. So synchronization and data harvesting is a huge part of what firms need to be doing with this type of technology moving forward. And then next slide helps you understand, again, this is focused on identifying and winning work. So this is what we call the front end of the system or the sales automation platform. So from the AEC 360 side, we've got a mechanism for managing our accounts, our companies, our clients, our subcontractors, our teaming partners. We've got the ability to manage contacts and identify who in our organization is connected to what contact, who that contact works for, what their role is with our organization, how strong we're connected to them, and so forth. So this concept of relationship scoring is something that we do in the background for our clients. So we can see, again, who's connected, who knows who, but most importantly, how active are they in their communications and their activity and their meetings with those contacts, so we can really judge who's got the strongest relationship. Opportunity tracking, so leads, opportunities, pursuits, pipelines. Natalie's going to show us some great dashboards surrounding this. The concept of project intelligence. So we've got all this information from the ERP system. So how can we identify, again, where we've had success, where we haven't had as much success as we would like, and then how we can leverage that expertise and experience to win more work. And then experience management. Which of our professionals have what credentials and what expertise in what sector of the pursuits that we're involved in? And then from a document assembly standpoint, how do we generate resumes and CVs and proposals and project sheets to help communicate what we're doing in these different markets? So it's a full marketing, business development, and relationship intelligence platform. Again, some firms use all of it, other firms just use bits and pieces. So from your standpoint, Natalie's going to take us through and she's going to show us some screenshots of how this functionality actually works. And I'd welcome any of you to put a chat question in if you've got any questions. And Natalie, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you walk us through some of the screens.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Whit. Hi, everybody. Right, so following on from what basically said about AEC360, again, it's about the amalgamation of data and having all that insights available to us in one system, in one place. By tracking accounts, companies, and clients, we have a 360-degree view perspective of what we're doing and the relationship we have with those clients and companies. Tracking the contacts that we know that are associated with them, leads, opportunities, and projects, as well as anything around partnering firms and contractors that might be linked to them as well. We've got the concept of personalized dashboard. So as a user, I can log into the system and have the information that's most pertinent to me, the opportunities and pursuits I'm working on, surface to me without me having to go and look for it. So the information can help me drive my activities in the most effective way. We can also cut and slice and segment the views of the data that works for individual users in a personalized manner. I can look at things around grouping by market sector, for instance, business unit or region, just as a couple of examples of how we can cut and slice that data. Also have the ability to drill down and interrogate the information in order to drive the insights that I need to make me most effective in my day-to-day activities. Whit mentioned about tracking relationships. So with the information coming in from places like Outlook and all the various different systems, we can track the reliable relationships of who knows who within the organization. So who in my organization is connected to a contact and what sort of communications and relationship is that? I can see the strength of the relationship and what type of communications make up that particular score. I can view that by the company as well as from a contact perspective. We can also enhance the information that we've got. If it's not within our database, we can look at the integrated sales LinkedIn Navigator, which can also show a kind of wider perspective of connections that might exist within LinkedIn, but embedded within D365. On our opportunity, we've got adaptable pursuit management and the idea of having a sales process which provides a consistent flow for an opportunity throughout its life cycle, providing a view of where we are at any given time during the life cycle of opportunity, how long we've been in that stage, and also what's going to be needed to move forward, right, as we progress that opportunity through to closure. We've also got predictive scoring and analysis, which helps augment the information we've got in the system and build a predictive scoring about the health of the opportunity at any given time based on metrics around what's happened with opportunities that are the same or similar, what's happened with the client previously, any sort of activities or actions that are actively happening within the system or not. If there's something that is a delay, it can tell you the strength of the opportunity and you can take action to deal with that. It also provides highlights about what's happening on the opportunity, kind of giving you a day-to-day, up-to-date view of the actions and activities that are going on with the opportunity in a quick, easy to digest manner. So you don't have to go searching for data, it's surfaced up to you automatically. We've also got AI and co-pilot enhancements in order to help drive the business development team's productivity. So I can ask questions and have a conversation with co-pilot in order to surface up different information that it can find in the application and within the database that we've got. Again, without having to go searching for it, it can be surfaced up to me in the most efficient manner, saving time essentially and providing the insights I need. We've also got embedded teams and chat within D365 in order to help collaboration between sales team members or employees within the context of the record where I initiate that chat from. Again, driving that productivity, keeping team members working in a productive manner. Next, we've got employee experience. So as we transition from opportunities into projects and have people assigned to projects in certain roles based on their skill sets, we can start building an experience library of work experience based on project and work history of our employees, which can be used for project planning going forward, but also in building out proposals and finding team members that can be used on proposals to help achieve the best outcomes. We can also leverage the project history. As Whit said, we kind of pull that project intelligence. We can start building that history of the projects that we've engaged in, the client satisfaction around delivery, and also about information around the financial performance of the projects, and also whether the project is referenceable going forward. And we can use it in our proposals, and again for business development in any proposals that we're building. Experience management and resume generation. So we have our document generation tools embedded within the application, which help us to search through our experience library, which we've got within the system, and pull through and search through and manage the experience library that we've got, choosing our employees that best fit our needs for that particular search, but then automating the generation of those resumes and documentation in a predefined, agreed format, which is consistent and on brand, essentially. Again, because of the information that we've got within the system, it can act as a centralized location for boilerplate data, again, around things like producing cut sheets or proposal documentation, again in predefined templates. So again, making sure it fits in with your agreed brand templates as needed. And some of the other features that we've got is, the Outlook user interface experience, where contacts, emails, opportunities, appointments, tasks and phone calls. As people are working in Outlook, they can track that information into the D365 AEC 360 system, and you have full functionality within Outlook, which is embedded. So all that information around our organizations, clients, contacts, opportunities can be surfaced up and viewed and interacted with from within Outlook, as well as the normal app, and also allows online and offline modes. So your information is available to you whenever you need it. And moving on to some of the last areas is really the fact that having the mobile capability, right? Taking your information, having your 360 view of your clients, your contacts, your opportunities on the go as you need to on your phone or your tablet, your device of choice, essentially. Right, and then lastly, I'll hand back to you, Whit.
You had the unfortunate experience of taking 1 hour of information and packing it into 10 minutes. So I apologize for taking too much time on the front end. But one of the questions that we hear all the time is, why is there so much momentum in the marketplace? Why are so many firms moving? And why is this solution representative of the direction a lot of groups are going? So so the first is the migration to the cloud is huge. And especially when you start talking about AI and chat GPT and all the co-pilot scenarios, we're seeing a massive shift at that point. Security. How do we guarantee or guarantee as closely as possible that this solution and the data associated with this solution is secure? How do we deal with cross-border data protection, data privacy, And of course, Microsoft is the platform that provides the industry-leading support in those areas. Consolidating vendors. So a lot of our clients, when we get started with them, they have this data, but it's spread out across 5, 6, 7, 10 different systems. So as Natalie mentioned, how do we bring all of that together? So this platform, again, gives us the ability to either encapsulate all of that under one solution or use the synchronization tools to bring it together. So we've got it in one central location and one place to be able to leverage. And then the volume of data. I don't think anybody can really comprehend how the amount of content, the volume, and the activities associated with what we're all forced to deal with in business today. It's just grown exponentially. So without being able to leverage technology, it's very, very difficult to be able to manage things the way that we used to manage things when the data and the content was controllable. And then, Natalie mentioned mobility, Outlook, and Teams. The way these systems work successfully is for it to be delivered in the manner that people want to be able to consume the data and use the system. So if I'm using my mobile device, or if I'm using an iPad, or I'm using my Teams or my Outlook, that's where I want to use this technology. So being able to deliver it at that level has a huge impact on user adoption. And that, again, that's something that groups have been challenged with over the years. So Microsoft got the model right, and all we've done is take their model and add the functionality and the extensions and the enhancements to make it work for the architecture, engineering, construction marketplace. So with that, Brian, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Whit. And yeah, amazing achievement. You and Natalie getting an hour's worth of content into 30 minutes or even less. So appreciate the challenge, and I think you did it successfully. And I'd just like to end, guys, but first of all, thank you for your time. As I said at the top of this presentation, we want to make this a series of events and webinars. So it's really important for us to get some feedback from you, the things that you want to see in the next series or the next webinar, so we can build it in. So please contact us through marketing or contact me directly with the direct feedback, and we'll build that into the next webinar. I'm delighted to say that on the 12th of June, we're running an AEC event, physical event, in conjunction with Microsoft at the Shard. The link for registration is in the chat. I believe that Jem has put it in the chat. If not, go onto the HSO website. We'd love to see you there. Some of the customers that I spoke about earlier on, so Foster's and Partners and MTC, they will be in attendance, and we'll be demonstrating the full depth and breadth. Today, we had half an hour and we focused on the CE, or the sales and projects element of our IP. On the day, on the 12th of June, we'll be showing the full depth and breadth of our IP, and we'll be talking about the benefits that has provided for our customers. So I hope to see some of you there. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to meeting you on the next webinar. Thank you.